Good evening, this is the Oscar Expert with Brother Bro, and it's time to review Layla. This is directed by al-kadhi. The film is about a non-binary drag queen who forms a relationship with a gay, cisgendered man, and both of them also have different ethnic backgrounds. The drag queen is Palestinian, and the boyfriend is white. Has a very straightforward presentation with his dress. And the reason I point that out is because this film is almost to an extreme degree about our presentation and the kind of faces that we show to society, or to ourselves, or to our friends, and just about how someone with a more complex identity has to juggle these things and navigate the world and negotiate with themselves about where can I be this kind of person and can I bring that everywhere? And this film was a great deep dive into what that's like, especially when you have multiple intersections where it's not even one space where you feel like you could fit in. It could be a little bit here, a little bit there. We, the audience, can't really get ahead of where this character's at and say, oh, I think that this is actually the right place for them, and if only this person weren't standing in the way of that, their life would be so much better. I mean, it presents these issues as complicated, which they are, and it presents a character who his identity is in flux. And I feel like this is just so important to have a film affirm that it's okay and normal to be in an uncertain situation when your inner self does not match the world around you, and when there's no obvious place for you to go. And especially the fact that you can be all of these things at once. You can be this chameleon. The film just feels so empathetic towards that idea, and I think that's a really important idea for society in general to embrace. We want people to feel like they can bring themselves to wherever they want to go. Yeah, what drew me really deeply into this film was that it was comfortable giving the main subjects lots of different shades and letting them all coexist at once, especially the two in this central romance. It was easy for me to feel the chemistry of this relationship and why these two are drawn to each other, and also the ways in which they might feel out of place in some spaces where the other partner feels comfortable, and the ways in which they do clash. And at the same time, I found myself really rooting for this couple and hoping that they could overcome this, but also being unsure if the reality of this situation and of the world that we live in would allow for this or not. And I found the movie genuinely unpredictable. A lot of romances feel like you know whether it's going to be the kind of story where somebody ends up together or not, but I really was wrestling with that in this movie, and I think it's because the movie was so comfortable presenting all the different shades of this character and having the audience wrestle with it. That is really what immerses me into a movie. And also the performances, I thought, played these layers beautifully. I also really liked how the director allowed these characters to interact with each other. The conversations and the teasing that they're doing while they're laying in bed, or something just felt very authentic about the characters here. There's also a great deal of vibrancy injected into this film with the colors and the camera work. A lot of it is the sort of typical indie style where you have a lot of close-ups and it's handheld, but there were definitely some directorial flourishes, especially with the editing in certain scenes, and I'm doing montages. There was just enough to keep me really on my toes and excited about the visual style of the film. And I had a couple moments where I was wondering, if this was going to be a little more obvious, but I really didn't find it obvious and predictable. I found myself just ever so slightly grappling with whether or not the movie felt a little too resolved. And we actually debated this. There are many shades of the movie, but I think it's a little less complex than maybe you think it is at the end. I feel like it leaves you on a note of kind of mystery about. I'm unsure. But anyway, I think the ending is really perfect, and the ending really moved me. No, I like the ending a lot. Had a great finale. I like the ending a lot too. And Bill Al-Hasna in the lead role, I think this is an excellent find. I felt this character's personality shining through every shade of this multifaceted person. And also Louis Gratoro was excellent as the boyfriend here. I feel like they both loved their characters, and the director loved these characters, and I always like feeling that from a film. If anything, maybe some of the dialogue was a little clunky, a little bit. It's just super nitpick. It's more every once in a while there would be a line that's trying a little bit, but I thought for the most part the writing was excellent. Yeah, because it understood the characters at a very deep level and was able to explore their depths and their different sides and let them be complicated people. And the dialogue didn't feel overly crafted most of the time. It felt very natural and free-flowing. I love this movie. It really moved me. I thought this is kind of what Sundance is all about. And not a lot of people are talking about it. I'm not sure why. I would highly recommend this. And I would give this a 9 out of 10. I would give it a strong 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Are you binary?